This video is all about the Roto Brush tool in After Effects and how it works. Let's jump straight in and show you what it can do. Roto brushing is basically going to save you tons of time and help you not pull all your hair out. Roto brushing automates the process of masking, which helps a lot in terms of time. So instead of you making a mask around your subject and every frame having to make or change that mask, Roto Brush Rotoscope is going to just automate that process, and it's magic. It's great and you will love it. I love tea. Anyone else love tea? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so first thing that you want to do is make sure that your quality is set to full in order for the rotoscope to work best. Then the next thing you need to do is double click on your layer. This is going to open it up in a layer tab, and this allows you to rotoscope. In order to roto brush, you have to click on this little icon with the man with a giant paintbrush next to him. You will get a green circle. Now you know you're in roto brush mode. I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see what we're doing. What you want to do is you want to go to the start of your clip, click and drag generally the area of your subject. So I'm literally going to go like this, and it's pretty much done. As you can see here, the brush is too big for this guy's shoe. So what you do there is you hold Command on a Mac or Control on a Windows, hold it down, click, and move your mouse up or down, and that will allow you to change the size of your brush. I'm going to make it a lot smaller, and then just make sure that I paint his shoe and this shoe as well. Over here you can see what's happening is that it's added in the section of the background. In order to take a section out is you hold the Option or the Alt on a Windows, and a little red icon will appear, basically cuts that section out. And now you can just go through, make sure that the rotoscope on the mask is completely covering everything. You have some settings on the left here that you can play with. I find that the standard settings are perfectly fine, but you can mess around with them if you want. You can lower the feather, you can change the contrast, you can do anything that you want over there. Do make sure that the drop down selection over here under version is 2.0. 2.0 is Roto Brush on steroids compared to the first version, so do make sure that that's selected. Now I'm just going to go through frame by frame. I'm going to hold Command and move to the right. As I'm going through each frame, it's basically creating a new mask around my subject. So I've gone a few frames forward, and there's a part here I want to get rid of. This in between the hand and the leg, hold my Option key and paint in there. I don't want that section. And then I'll zoom back out, keep scrubbing through. You can hit the space bar if you wanted to play through and let After Effects do its thing. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to hit play and let it work through as much as it can by hitting space bar. As you can see, it is literally masking my subject frame by frame in close to real time, which is amazing. At the end of this, I'm going to go back over it and just clean it up. Some more tea. Okay, I'm going to stop it there because I'm not actually going to use all of that. I'm going to stop it around about here. I'm just going to pull this section in, and then I'm going to right click, trim comp to work area. It's going to make the clip as long as that part that I selected. Any part that is green on this section here has been rendered as a frame with your mask around it. And all you want to do is you just want to scrub through it and just make sure that everything looks good. So there is a part over there. So I'll just hit Option and paint that space. And see, sometimes it gets confused, and all I do is just go back and paint over that section. The AI is pretty good. It's pretty quick at learning the borders when you deselect and select again. So you just go through it like this and just clean it up. Roto Brush does have a few tools which you need to know about. If you come up to the top here and click and hold on the Roto Brush, you get something called the Refine Edge tool. Let's say there was a point, maybe the tip of his hat. You can see some of the edges here. They don't look very smooth or clean. They look a bit pixelated and jagged. So what you would do in that instance is you would take the Refine Edge tool, just go over it. You're just telling the AI that you want to make sure that this edge is nice and smooth, and make sure that it takes some time to go over it and make it look perfect. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm happy with this. What I do want to show you is there are a few tools. At the bottom here, you can select this one where your subject will appear and your background will be in red. This one is the default view, and then you have the third one over here, which will give you almost like a matte example where your subject will be in white and your background will be in black. Here you can change some of your edges, the smoothness, the feather, the contrast. When you're done with that and ready to tell After Effects that you're happy, you go to this button over here and you click freeze. Basically, that's going to go through each of the frames and basically tell After Effects that we are done. You can lock this into place in order for us to edit and use all of that data. I'm just going to fast forward this part and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so I just stopped the process because I noticed because of the Refine Edge, the Roto Brush started doing all this whack stuff over here. So what I would do in this instance is I would just use the Roto Brush. So I'm just going to cut the video just before it starts to freak out, more or less here. Now that we've clicked freeze and it's gone through all of our frames, you can go back to your composition on the left. And now you see your subject has been rotobrushed out, which is great. Now what we can do is we can take our layer and duplicate it by holding Command or Control D, and that's going to create another layer. And then on the bottom layer, you can delete your rotobrush. Now we can play around with this layer. See, I can move it around. Basically, we have a cutout of our subject. You can also duplicate this a few times and change the transparency. So let's change this to 60%. And this one below to, I don't know, 30%. And then what you do is you just pull them across in time, and in this way you'll get a cool sort of echo effect. What we also can do is we can add some text to this, and let's just say break it down, put it in the background. And if we drop the layer in between the two layers, now our subject is in front of the text, it pushes the text to the back. This gives us really cool effect. So what I might do with this is I might track my text to my background with some motion tracking. I've got a video on my channel if you want to know how to do that, but just to make it look a little bit more real. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some music onto this. On that first beat, as he goes down, I'm just going to line it up. At that point, what we're going to do is we're going to change the background. I'm going to hit Shift, Command and D to split the text layer in half, delete that. And what I've got is some backgrounds, or some like neon lights. Now we see we've got this cool effect. Kinda like that, that's pretty stupid. What we can do is change the blend mode to screen, and now only the colors will appear. Change the position so it lines up behind him, and now let's cut on the beat to something else, and let's change it up to a different one. Throw this one in, and all I'm doing is I'm just dragging them underneath my Tiny Dancer layer, holding Shift Command D to split the layer. And this one looks cool, reminds me of that Michael Jackson music video. It looks a bit strange, kind of like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Boom, boom. On that beat, let's change it. Let me throw this one on, cut it right there, make sure it goes underneath our Tiny Dancer. Let's change the position. We've got something that looks like this. And I would just keep going through this and throwing cool effects on and just playing around with it as much as I can. Guys, that is it. That is the basics of rotobrushing, rotoscoping. I hope that it helps you. I hope that it takes your videos to the next level. If this video was helpful, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. You can also check out some of my other videos on my channel. I'll see you guys around. Peace out.